Hi, I'm Kelly and welcome to Cosy Reads. And this week I am going to be getting up at 5 a.m. in order to read fun, cozy mysteries. I've seen a whole bunch of videos where people get up at 5 and do various activities that they enjoy. And I think that that sounds like a really good idea to sort of have some time of, I want to say guilt-free reading. Not that reading is a guilty activity, but time that isn't earmarked for anything else. I struggle sometimes when I'm reading that I feel like I should be doing something else. But between 5 and 7 a.m, I'm expected to do nothing. Nobody wants me doing anything at that time. I'm barely awake. So I'm planning to get up and read some cozy mysteries because I want to read something that is going to be fun, enjoyable, and not too taxing. And I don't mean that in a sort of horrible or negative way towards cozy mysteries, because I love cozy mysteries. I just mean that I don't feel like my 5 a.m. brain would be capable of dealing with world building in fantasy or remembering the rules of a sort of sci-fi world or dystopic world. I just think that I have some really cozy, fun sounding mysteries that I think would be enjoyable. So that's my plan. I don't tend to get up that early these days. I used to. I usually get up at about 7:30, but once upon a time I did used to get up at 5. I used to go to CrossFit at 5:45 before work, which sounds like utter madness. And I didn't have any upper body strength then either. So clearly I'm never meant to open jars. So I used to get up at 5 and it used to be fine. I've always struggled with sleep. I struggle to get to sleep and I struggle to stay asleep. So for me, getting up earlier, I don't know if that's going to be hard or easy. I tend to wake up round about 5 most days anyway and then just go back to sleep if my body allows it. But it's years since I've been a regular 5 a.m. riser. Not since my CrossFit days or when I go on holiday, because I tend to book really early flights. Because they're cheaper. So yeah, tomorrow 5 a.m. let's do this. It's day 1 of me getting up at 5 a.m. in order to read cozy mysteries, and it's day 1 and I've already failed. I am a failure. I woke up at 5 and then my body very quickly informed me that I was an idiot and I went back to sleep. And I got up at 7. But today isn't a working day for me, so I still read for 2 hours before the rest of my house was awake. So I'm counting it. I'm counting this as day 1, even though I didn't get up at 5. I did get up before everybody else and I did have a few hours of just me time where there were no expectations. And I got some reading done, which was the entire point of the challenge. So we're counting it. Tomorrow we'll get up at 5. I've got faith. I started reading Marshmallow Murder by Molly Maple, which is the most adorable pseudonym. At least I assume it's a pseudonym, otherwise it's the most adorable name. I'm very jealous. This is a small town mystery, and a miserly cheapskate is found dead, and he had quite a few enemies because he owed quite a lot of people money. He didn't like to part with his cold hard cash, and that makes you some enemies, especially when a lot of this money was, very much owed for services provided. The body is found by Charlotte. Charlotte is relatively new to the town and she's living with her elderly auntie. Charlotte and her best friend Marianne, who is the local librarian, they go off to deliver something to this man and find that he is no longer living. So they find themselves caught up in the investigation. There is also a love interest in the form of the sheriff's son, and Charlotte and he have some sort of history. This is book 2 of a very long series, but it can really be read as a standalone because any sort of character explanation is given every time a new character comes along. So I don't feel like I'm missing anything by not having read book number 1. The only thing I feel I'm missing is a great time because I'm really enjoying this book so far. The love interest is hilarious. Charlotte is your classic fictional female main character where she is clumsy. That is her main character trait, is she is clumsy, and she's clumsy around her love interest, and it is just, it's hilarious. She's dropping eggs. I'm really enjoying it. The book is charming so far. I'm having a great time, and I'm actually really looking forward to getting up early tomorrow to finish it. And I think that that's probably the thing that's going to get me through the week, is that I have to want to read these books. And I really want to read this book. I want to finish it. Take everything in my power not to pick it back up later in the day. I really want to know what happens next. I've got my feelings, I've got my thoughts of where it's going, but can I be right? I don't know. I'm gonna find out tomorrow when I do get up at 5. It is day 2 of me trying to get up at 5 a.m. to read Cosy Mysteries, and I actually got up at 5 a.m. today, so yay! It was actually unnervingly easy to get up today at 5. My alarm went off, up I hopped out of bed, and so much success was had. I finished Marshmallow Murder, and oh, my heart was warmed. I really liked this book. I really enjoyed it. It was such a cozy read, just like a hug from my Kindle. It was the kind of book that I really had hoped to find during this sort of reading challenge. The characters were a little bit one-dimensional, but I mean, that's okay. I'm okay with that. I wanted like a wee cozy read, and sometimes there's not enough time for some big character development, but I like the characters that you had, even though they were very sort of, this person is the librarian and they only like books, that's all they do. And this person is a baker and she only bakes, that's what she does. But of course she's clumsy because she's the main character. I was fine with those tropey little tropes. They were done in an enjoyable way. I absolutely loved the idea of the Live Forever Club, which was the old ladies of the town were in this club, and they were such scamps. They were making alcoholic lemonade for the lemonade fair, and they were just getting up to no good, skinny dipping, nude portraits. They were living their best lives, and I would actually really just love a series following them. They were so fun, like old lady goals, even though they were the side characters. No, the main characters, they were my favourite. Just, I love a good old lady character. I did guess who done it, but that didn't really take away my enjoyment from the book because it was just so cozy and sweet and fun. It gave me that cozy town murder mystery sleuthing plot that I so desired, and it did it really well, so I really did enjoy this. This is part of a series. It is book number 2, and I would not be opposed to reading more from this series, so maybe that's something that I will do. I also had time to start another book. I made some decent progress, around 50 pages of Bookshop Witch by T. Thorne Coyle. This again set in a cozy little town, except it's not a cozy little town. It's a little seaside town, but it's not cozy. There's cliff faces, there's sort of treacherous waves, and it just sort of has an air of danger to it, which is very intriguing for a sort of small town mystery. And the main character runs a bookshop, and she is a witch, and she sort of finds herself tasked with having to find these missing magical beings as well, and she's trying to sort of come to terms with being a witch. And she's 28, but she feels so much younger. she feels maybe like 22, you know, fresh out of uni. I've only read a little bit of the book, so I've not really read enough to have a full sort of picture of her. The book is set in Oregon, and there's a lot of sort of like local terms and things that I keep having to Google because I don't really know much about Oregon other than Portlandia, which I don't think is factually accurate. It's just a fun TV program. I really enjoyed actually getting up early today and being like awake. When it got to 7:30, I was wide awake and I could get laundry put on and the dishwasher done. We're gonna have clean socks and cutlery this week. I'm very, very excited. It is day 3 of getting up at 5 a.m. to read Cosy Mysteries. I would say today was the hardest day. I really struggled. Well, my alarm went off and I got up, but I was so tired. And it's lunchtime and I'm on the caffeine, so I'm hoping that this will get me through the rest of the day. I got up and my plan was to record the sunrise because I could just stand out of my front door and see the sunrise, but it is a very overcast, very cloudy day, so I haven't seen the sun at all today or yesterday. I'm hopeful I can get some sunrise this week, but I don't know. Anyway, I finished my book. I finished The Bookshop Witch and it was okay. It was okay. I found that the main character was very much, I'm not like other girls. She was very constantly making comments about how she was different to everybody else, how she was special, and I found it a little bit nauseating. I liked the concept of this book. I really liked the plot, but I was hoping for a twist because I saw the reveal. I saw it pretty early on and I was hoping that there was going to be some big twist. Seeing as this is a series, I was hoping there was going to be something a little bit extra. Our main character, Sarah, is a very reluctant witch. She's returned back to her hometown, and somehow, despite that being her hometown and her not being away for really that long, she was completely ignorant to the fact that there were other witches in her hometown. It wasn't just her, but she was very much of the opinion that she was the only person with magic there, but there were so many other people she just hadn't noticed. There were some sidekicks in the book as well that were teenagers who were referred to constantly as the teens or teen, and at no point did we find out how old they were. Like, were they 13? Were they 17? Like, what were they? Not that it was super important, but I suppose it would have made a little bit more sense having them just sort of left with this random adult if we knew that they were, I don't know what the age would be for it not to be weird, just leaving some youths with a random adult. I don't know what age that would be, but it felt a bit strange. I did really like the relationship that the main character had with her uncle. It was so nice, it was supportive, and you could sort of tell that there really was like a close bond there. And I really liked her relationship with her partner as well. It was wholesome, it was sweet. Her boyfriend was into medieval reenactments and owned a sword, and I did probably laugh the most when he was there holding his sword, and I'm like, just because you do reenactments, I don't think it means you would be good in an actual battle. Probably would be better than most people because you would know how to wield the sword, but it was very strange. There were a lot of pop culture references in this book, and I can only assume that I missed a few as well. There were some references to The Princess Bride, and I felt like that really drove home that she's not like other girls. Look, she knows The Princess Bride. You know, that really popular film that lots of people know. This was a fine book. It was a fun enough read. I did enjoy it. I got it for free, so I can't really complain, but I don't think I will be sticking with the series. I think maybe if the rest of the series was free, I probably would try one more, but I'm not in a position where I feel like it would be worth my time and money to buy book 2. But it was still a fun enough 5 a.m. read. And today my partner got up early as well, so we had some time together before work, which was a beautiful treat. We used to do that a lot when lockdown first started. We were still in the habit of getting up early, and we used to go and have our morning coffee in the back garden and watch the sunrise. It was very adorable and very lovely. It was really lovely having him get up at about 6:30 and join me. So yeah, so far, while I'm not loving the 5 a.m. wake up, I'm loving the extra time that I have. But new book starting tomorrow. I'm gonna have to think which one. It is day 4 of getting up at 5 a.m. to read, and I am back upstairs because there's no light in Aberdeen today, no natural light, so I am upstairs with a big window and some lights, and I'm just hoping that there will be some light coming through. I have non-bookish news before we go on to the books. I got a new cup today. It's so cute. It's a little strawberry and it's painted glass. So I hope that will last. It's just from Asda and it was on sale because summer is coming to an end. But I like basically a sippy cup. So it's like a cute little mason jar and I love it. It's so cute and fun. And despite hating summer, I really do like some novelty glassware. Today was a worrying day, a very, very worrying day, because 5 a.m. my watch, I have the alarm on my watch, so it vibrates to wake me up, and I like bounced out of bed, awake, ready, and I don't, who even am I? That was very, very alarming. But I woke up and I was ready, and I started Potions, Poisons and Peril by Shay MacLeod. This is surrounding a witch, the most powerful witch of the modern era, because of course she is. She's the most powerful witch that ever there was in the modern day. And she works in a herbal shop where they basically sell like teas, and it seems like they sell a lot of moisturizer, like lotion. And her best friends are also witches. They're in the same coven, and they very conveniently work in the shops that are attached either side to hers. So she's neighbours with her besties, which was fun. And then one day a young girl comes in and is like, oh, you have to help me. I've had like a vision that there's gonna be a death right here. And the protagonist is like, what are you talking about? It's bizarre. No. And then it happens. Somebody comes in, they die. And because this town has magic people and non-magic people, our main character sort of takes it upon herself to look into this, because the police aren't going to know what to do. They don't have a sort of paranormal division in her location. She enlists her 2 best friends for help, and one of their best friends has their cousin visiting. Now, I hate him. I hate him. Like, I just want you to fully grasp how much I hate this cousin. I hate him. But I will get back to cousin hating in a moment when I finish saying what the book is about. So this trio then find out that somebody has been poisoning people, and this poison turns people basically feral and completely out of control, and they are trying to find out who did it, who is making this happen, and why is it causing some people to die and some people not to. I love this quirky trio. I really like their dialogue with each other. They feel really sort of authentic and just fun. Like, I'd like to be friends with them. And I think this is a series, and if so, I kind of hope that it gives a little bit more character development for each of the three women because I really enjoy them and I want to know more about them. But the cousin, I hate him. And he's returned from being in the army, and this is literally the first moment he has met the protagonist and the friend who is not his cousin. The first time ever. And he's like, I have to protect her. Why? Why do you have to protect her? She's the most powerful witch of the modern era. That's in the blurb. She doesn't need you, Noah. Go away. I hate the protective trope, so I'm hoping that maybe he calms that down a bit. Maybe she points out, look, I'm kind of good at this. Kind of really good at magic. I don't need you. So that's how I hope the book is gonna go. I also am a bit iffy about insta love, and it feels very like you've not shown me any reason for. Well, he likes her because she's beautiful, and he's very like, ooh, I love a pale redhead. Whereas I can't really see any reason why she's attracted to him. They say he has a nice butt, so that's probably it. Also, can we just say the cover art on this book? Oh, I think it deserves better. It's not a bad cover. It's just, I feel the book deserves a bit more, I think. I don't know. I mean, it might not. The cousin might get even more just awful and, ooh, I am tough man. And then I'll be like, you deserve this cover. So we will find that out tomorrow. Hopefully there is some natural sunlight. I don't know. Today is day 5 of getting up at 5 a.m. to read Cosy Mysteries. And I think today was the hardest day. I'm so cold, which is why I have my autumnal knit, which is so cozy. Last night was the first night that I actually went to sleep somewhat early, earlier than usual. And so you would think that I would be more rested and ready for a 5 a.m. start. But today was really tough and I found myself yawning most of the afternoon. So maybe the key is to go to bed at a normal time. I finished my book. I finished Potions, Poison and Peril, and it was okay. It was okay. I didn't love it, but there were parts of the book that I did really enjoy. I loved the like really fun female friendship between the witches in the coven. I liked sort of learning more about their world. The setting seemed really fun. It seemed like a really interesting town, and I did not guess the villain. I did not see it coming, so I really liked that that was a surprise. The thing that ruined the book for me though was Noah, who is the only name I remember because I hated him so much. He was the male love interest who had just rocked up and suddenly was all overprotective of this person he had never met before. And it's like, Noah, calm down. You are being creepy and intense. And somehow all of the characters thought he was being so charming and just lovely. And I thought, what? He's a walking red flag. And that's the sort of thing I don't like in a cozy mystery, is when there's a romance, it doesn't work for me, and that can really ruin a book. We did learn why, well, maybe not why Noah's so intense. We learned a secret about Noah, and I assume that that's the reason that his feelings towards dating are very, oh, big strong man must do everything. But I don't think that that really was enough, and I feel like he's not cute enough to offset such a horrible personality. I mean, I don't think anybody's cute enough to offset a really bad personality, but he was awful and really did ruin the book for me. I have time for one more book, and I think I've had enough of cozy sort of paranormal books, and I want to go back to just straight mystery. And I did get approved recently for an ARC, which is a murder mystery set in a culinary school, and that sounded really interesting. So I think I'm gonna go and read that next. Hopefully I'll get that finished over Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, I've got good feelings about that book. 5 a.m. controversial opinion though is that I am loving having this extra time because not only am I having my reading time, but I'm actually awake, properly awake and ready to like greet the day at the time I normally would be getting up at. So I'm kind of liking it. Oh, that's interesting. It is Saturday, it is the 6th day, and today everything went a little bit wrong. It all started when I did not wake up at 5 because it turns out that my alarm on my phone is Monday to Friday. Monday to Friday. I have no Saturday alarm. So my alarm didn't go off because I didn't have one. But I did wake up at 5:15 and I got up then. So it still counts. It's much better than day one when I got up really late. I then hit a snag because I started reading a new book. I started reading Knife Skills for Beginners by Orlando Murren. And this is about a murder that takes place at a culinary school, and it sounded really exciting. I made it 20% into the book and I'm possibly going to DNF it, or maybe not, maybe I'll go back to it, but it's not a book that sort of excited me enough to get up tomorrow at 5 to read it. So I started a different book because I wasn't really enjoying this. So I started Who Killed Miss Finch by Peter Boone. I'm sorry if you can hear the seagulls, they're going a little bit mad outside and I don't know why, but it's Aberdeen, they need no reason. Seagulls pretty much run the city. So Who Killed Miss Finch is another murder mystery set in a school, and Miss Finch is a head teacher who is deeply unpleasant and horrific, and I don't know why people haven't complained to the school board, to the union. There are legal ways that, you know, she could be dealt with, but no. Anyway, she is our victim and she's deeply unpleasant, so nobody's really sad about that. And the school librarian ends up looking into the murders. I'm not loving this book either, but I'm not hating it. I'm very intrigued to know who done it, and I do like that there's been a few references here and there to murder mystery books. I sort of think that this book might be a little love letter to the murder mystery genre, which would be great. Character-wise, I don't really feel like I know anybody so far. I do feel like the parents of the librarian who's looking into the investigation, they feel very much like characters from EastEnders, which is a soap opera in the UK. I haven't watched it for about 20 years, and I don't think it's changed that much. But, you know, your loud, boisterous pub landlord and pub landlady kind of characters. And everybody in the book keeps sort of talking to the librarian about, if anyone can solve the case, it's you. And I'm yet to find out why it would be him, unless it's just because he likes reading murder mysteries. Because I love reading murder mysteries and I'm completely ill-equipped to solve one myself. I'd be terrible. I'd mold. I would lose hair and just drop my own skin cells and things, and I would be found guilty because I'd messed up and dropped evidence of me being there. No, I don't. I'm yet to see reasons why they think he would be good at being a detective, but I'm only a little into the book. I will finish it tomorrow, and hopefully I will find out why people have so much faith in him. I mean, it's quite nice that people have got faith in him. There are a few sort of secrets that you can tell are being hidden, so I'm looking forward to them being revealed. I'm very glad that I swapped books because I think that the other book might still be good. I'm still gonna probably go back to it, but I know that I'm excited to get up and finish this book tomorrow, so I will report back. Well, it is day 7 of getting up at 5 AM to read Cosy Mysteries, and I finished Who Killed Miss Finch. And let me tell you, I did not see it coming. I did not see it coming until like just before the reveal, by which point it's not a win. You can't count that as guessing. if you're just on that sort of ramp up to the grand reveal, it doesn't count. It does not count. I did enjoy this. I enjoyed this book. I have some issues. I have some issues with the book with regards to everybody kept saying about how the librarian Manny, whose name I've forgotten, how he was the person that if he couldn't solve the case, nobody else could. And I saw nothing in this book to tell me why people felt that way, other than that he enjoys reading Agatha Christie. And the author clearly enjoys reading Agatha Christie too. And I enjoy reading Agatha Christie as well. But he wrote a lot of things in the book of, you know, well, Agatha Christie did this, and this one's happened in an Agatha Christie book. And I was a bit like, do you want us to liken you to Agatha Christie? It's okay if you want us to liken you to Agatha Christie, but that's a decision that I feel the reader has to make for themselves and not have it forced upon them. The characters were very sort of one-dimensional. I wanted a bit more. I wanted maybe the librarian had previously solved a case, or I don't know, cosplayed as Poirot, but there wasn't anything like that. So I still was left feeling a bit like, well, why is it your area of expertise, sir? There was an actual detective, and that actual detective was like, yeah, sure, go for it. You go and contaminate my crime scene. You go and interview these witnesses. I'm just saying that if I was a witness to a crime and some random person came up and tried to interview me, I would ask them to please leave me alone. I'm not, no. So I had some issues there. Ultimately, this book was okay. It was okay for a 5 a.m. read, absolutely fine. If I was reading this book as, say, an evening read or, you know, my lunchtime read, I don't know if I would have such fond feelings towards it, because like I said, I felt like I was reading it in time that didn't exist, just free time where there were no expectations. So it was okay to read a book that maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed so much otherwise. That doesn't make any sense. I have no plans to read any more books in this series. I just don't think that this character is for me, even though I barely know him. I don't have any interest in getting to know him. I have really enjoyed my week of getting up at 5. My partner ended up joining me, so he would get up at 6, go shower and do stuff to get ready for the day. So he would come join me at like 5:30, and we would just have coffee together and just have like some us time. Nice. It was nice having that little 90 minutes a day of just me reading, and nobody needed me, and I didn't go on social media or anything, so I could just read. I could just consume books. And I read 4 books, which feels like a lot to have read over a week, but they were relatively short books, and I think it was only about 900 or so pages, definitely under 1,000, but more than 900. And they did feel like quicker reads. I don't think I'm going to continue getting up at 5, but I think I would like to start getting up maybe at 6 to have an extra hour to myself to just read. And it was really nice feeling awake and refreshed when the day truly started. I really enjoyed this, and I didn't think I would like it that much. My partner is a big fan of this early rising too, and I don't know what's happening to us. Have I made us like those morning people? I mean, we were already kind of morning people, but now I think we're really, really morning people. Oh, this will be interesting. That is my experiment done. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!